Hello everyone, this is Nitpicking Nerd, also known as Major Grin, for those who don't know that. I don't make it clear in every video and there are reasons for that which I will explain. And today I want to respond to another channel called Lore Reloaded, which I'm actually a fan of. I watched a lot of his videos, not all of them, and I very often disagree with him. Maybe later on I'll say some of the things which he said which I think are totally wrong, and I think it's okay for other channels to criticize each other as long as it's done in a civilized way without any personal attacks against each other. So I'm totally fine with any criticism toward me, and hopefully when I make criticism back talking about the issues, I will also be treated politely. And this video is not just about my response to Lore Reloaded. I also want to use the opportunity to respond to many other people who made similar comments about my other channel, and so I want to clarify everything and to explain everything so that everybody knows exactly what it's all about and what are the reasons for why I'm doing the stuff I'm doing and all of that. And first of all, to explain why I'm on different channels pretending to be different people. Well, I never intend to deceive anyone, and the reason I'm kind of keeping it vague and I'm not using my bigger channel, my other channel, to promote this one is for a few reasons. First of all, just safety on YouTube. Because I'm using copyrighted material on my other channel, technically CBS can block me or they even terminate the channel in 1 second if they want to. And also YouTube itself, they have a stupid rule that if you have one channel terminated, then you're not allowed to have any other channel. And it can cause a domino effect if that channel is terminated and YouTube realizes that this one is linked to it. Then they might terminate this one as well, and so I would like to avoid that. And those of you who know my history on YouTube and how many times I had to restart channels would understand why I'm being so paranoid, and so I don't want to make it clear even to YouTube itself that this is the same channel owner as that other channel. And for the record, I'm not monetizing anything on that other channel because it has copyrighted material and it doesn't have my verbal reviews, and so it's not really fair use, my other channel, and so that's why I'm keeping it totally separate, so that if something happens to it, it won't affect this one. And another reason why I split off all my reviews to a separate channel, because, you know, I have an accent, my English is not that good, and so I don't want to annoy people who stumble into my videos, and so people who come to watch the compilations or the parodies or the comparison videos, I don't want to force them to listen to me, and so that's why I keep it all separate. And even on this channel, one of the reasons I keep myself anonymous, meaning why I don't show my face or my real name, is because that way no one can sue me. So if CBS gets pissed off at that other channel and what it's doing and they want to punish me for it, and so if they know that this is my other channel and they know my identity, then technically they can sue me, and I really don't want to deal with any of that. And so that's one of the reasons I keep myself anonymous and I don't share my social media and all of that. And so that's in short most of the reasons for that. So I hope I clarified all of it, and also this way at least I know that all my subscribers here really did subscribe because they enjoy listening to my reviews and not just because of all those other types of videos I made. And so at least this way I know that everyone who are watching me here really want to listen to me, and this way I can talk for hours as long as I want without feeling like I'm forcing someone to listen who doesn't want to. So this way only people who really want to listen to me are subscribed, and people who want to see my parodies get to watch them on a totally separate channel. Now let me talk about that other channel and the types of videos I'm doing there and why. Well, it all started many years ago. One of my biggest hobbies in life was to make parody edits of shows, especially Star Trek TNG, which is a show I remember by heart because as a kid I watched it numerous times because I didn't have cable TV, but I did record Star Trek TNG and later Deep Space Nine and the other shows, and I simply rewatched them multiple times as a kid, and I literally remember them by heart. So it used to be a whole bunch of channels with the name Grin. It was Admiral Grin, General Grin. That name actually originated, it was supposed to be Colonel Grin, like the villain from TOS, which I misspelled originally because of my bad English, and then I kept it like that because I started making more and more comedy videos, and so I thought, oh, Grin, that's like a smile, so it fits. And so at first it was Colonel Grin, then I promoted myself to General, then demoted myself, and so I had a whole bunch of channels, and the reason again is not to get too many strikes on any one channel, to make it all safer. Eventually, because it was all in one long playlist and I gave numbers to all the videos, CBS eventually got pissed off and they blocked all those videos. And that was the moment when I started making reviews, because I thought to myself that would be a way to protect all those edits I made, because if you're making reviews, then it makes it more fair use. And so my initial thought was to make reviews only to kind of protect those edits. I thought about re-uploading them with a review before the video, or to insert those edits into my reviews, and that way to protect them. But then I started really enjoying making the reviews themselves, and then I was scared about the reviews, and so that's why eventually I made it all on a separate channel without any of the footage. And also CBS apparently stopped blocking all those videos, and so technically they are now safe, and so there's no reason to mix it all together, and that's why I split it all back again. So there are all those parody videos I made, and there are the reviews which are separate at the moment. And this way, again, I don't force anyone to listen to my voice, and so everybody should be happy. And I started making the reviews around the time that Star Trek Discovery started airing, and so naturally I reviewed that show first. And some people even on this channel complain and say, why do you only complain about the new Trek and not the old Trek? Well, that was simply because I started making the reviews when these new shows aired. And if I started it earlier, I definitely would have reviewed the old shows as well, and I would have been nitpicking them as well. And that's something I was always doing in my old videos, which were only edits before I started recording myself with my voice. I was still kind of nitpicking them. I made compilations to show all the continuity mistakes, all the times they contradict each other and stuff like that. And I was just making compilations for fun, simply showing all kinds of funny stuff, like all the times that O'Brien's shoulder got hit, or all the times that Worf got beat up, or all the times Geordi was tortured, or even all kinds of props in the background which keep reappearing. So that's the kind of videos I always enjoyed making, and they used to be all about the old Trek shows. Now that Discovery came, and then Picard and all of that, and those shows had even more continuity mistakes than ever before, then naturally I made more videos about that. But I have plenty of videos about complaining about the old Trek shows, and most of that was in good fun. Again, the old Star Trek shows which I totally loved, I was still doing that about them, and I did that mostly because I found it entertaining, and a lot of other people, fans of Trek, also found it entertaining. So my first videos were compilations like that, like continuity mistakes. And so my first videos were simply compilations like that, and then later on I started kind of playing with the order of the clips and tried to make it funnier. And then eventually, as my editing skills improved, I started making basically parody edits, and I started creating my own storylines. And it was all simply for fun. It was simply funny. That was the main purpose for most of my videos. Of course, sometimes my videos are meant to criticize something, so I show comparison of the old Trek with the new Trek to show a moral difference or a continuity mistake, or in the case of Discovery or Picard, the many times they kind of borrow stuff from other movies which are not even Star Trek. And I do that about the Orville as well. Even though I love the Orville, I often show a video in which they recycle something from the old Star Trek shows or from another movie, and I actually have a whole bunch of videos like that coming. I didn't yet finish compiling all of that. I have a few folders about the Orville and what it's borrowing from other places, and so a lot of stuff will be coming about the Orville very soon, even though I love the Orville. So just because I'm making a lot of videos showing all the mistakes or showing silly stuff in a show doesn't necessarily mean I hate that show. Even though I am a very big critic of Discovery and Picard, I don't hate everything about those shows. I did find a lot of stuff in those shows entertaining and good, otherwise I wouldn't be making that. Do you think I would spend so much time rewatching all those shows to look for all these clips if I really hated them completely? Probably not. I do think the older Star Trek shows were better, and I explained all of that in my reviews. I made many videos explaining all of that. I won't repeat all of it here. I do think the new shows have a lot of problems, but I also think they have some good things, and the old Star Trek shows obviously also had a whole bunch of problems, and I'm making reviews once in a while of the old ones as well, and I do say exactly what I think was wrong, so I don't wear rose-colored glasses. I don't pretend that the old shows were perfect. It always had mistakes, it always had some immoral messages once in a while. You know, the Prime Directive has a whole bunch of problems, and the lore often brings up all kinds of immoral actions by Captain Sisko and all of that. I'll get to that later. So I never pretended that all the old Star Trek shows were perfect, and I think it's totally fine to criticize them as well, and I'm going to do that myself once I have a break from the new Trek, which keeps coming out. I'll definitely review the old ones as well, and I'll definitely do that with the Orville. So the Major Grin channel is first of all meant as entertainment. I simply enjoy making those videos, and if I see a video gets popular, that people enjoy it, then I'll keep making those kinds of videos. My favorite type personally are the parody edits, the ones that make up a whole completely new storyline from pieces of the old Star Trek shows and simply recombining it in new ways. That's personally my favorite type. But those were the videos that got blocked by CBS, and so I'm trying not to make too many of them because I kind of don't want to invest all my energy into doing that, and those were the most difficult videos to make. You know, I used to splice dialogue together to create new dialogue and to come up with whole new stories and trying to make it work, and with special effects and, you know, cutting out different scenes and combining them, and all of that is a huge amount of work. And making just the normal compilations is much easier, you know, just showing the continuity mistakes, just showing that clip versus that clip. That's much easier for me, and because I have such a photographic memory of the old Star Trek shows, I can immediately know, I know exactly where that clip is and I can take it right away, so it's very easy for me to do that. And a lot of that is entertaining and funny in its own way. And so the main purpose of that channel is simply to entertain, and that's one of the reasons for the name of the channel. Major Grin, that's a big smile. That's the main reason that channel exists. It's not just to complain, it's mostly to entertain. Even though I think some of those videos do demonstrate real complaints as well, real criticism. And I think my criticism is mostly constructive, especially in my reviews. You know, I don't just sit and complain. I also, first of all, I do mention the good things. Unlike some of those other channels which Lore often complains about, those fandom menace channels which only complain, they don't mention any good things. I'm not like that. I do mention the good bits as well. And also I offer constructive criticism, meaning I suggest ideas on how to do it and to fix the problems, and I even invent theories to come up with excuses for all the mistakes and how to fix it and stuff like that, which is also mostly for fun, but I'm not one of those who only hate on stuff just to hate on it. So that's not exactly what I'm doing, even though a lot of it is very strong criticism, but it's not meant to destroy or to boycott or only to complain and to whine about it. So that's not what my channel is about, even though a lot of it, big percentage of my videos is me whining about stuff. And that's why I also named my channel Nitpicking Nerd, so that anyone who clicks on any of my videos knows exactly what is going to get. No one should be surprised when he clicks on a channel name like this and then hears some nerd talking about Star Trek history and continuity mistakes and scientific mistakes and stuff like that. You can see it in the name of the channel right away, so no one can complain that this is the types of videos that he's getting.